Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Janet Love. On her left-hand side is the CEO of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Simon Mabulo. Some of members of the executive are sitting on that end, and other members of the executive and senior leadership of the Electoral Commission are joining us virtually. With those few introductions, Chairperson, may I invite you to deliver the decision of the Electoral Commission? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Program Director, Dr. Masugu. Fellow commissioners, the Vice Chairperson of the Commission, Janet Love, Commissioner Msutumieka, Commissioner Diapile, and Commissioner Dr. Masugu. The Electoral Commission CEO present, Mr. Mamabulo, executive and senior management of the Commission present here, members of the media with us here, and ladies and gentlemen. The last 65 days have been eventful in the Electoral Commission of South Africa. The Commission secured the services of the former Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke, and as announced by the Commission on the 20th of May 2021, he was asked to inquire into, make findings, report on, and make recommendations concerning the likelihood that the Commission will be able to ensure that the forthcoming 2021 general local government elections will be free and fair in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission further sought that the report indicate any additional measures necessary for the Commission to consider implementing in order to realize free and fair elections within the COVID-19 context. And as we all know, this inquiry became known as the Moseneke inquiry. And the Moseneke report was released to the Commission and the nation on Tuesday, 20th of July, 2021, one day earlier than was originally planned. The Commission committed to consider it expeditiously. And I am pleased to inform you that the Commission has now carefully considered the report and its implications of our work. The Moseneke report found that it was not reasonably possible or likely that the local government elections scheduled for October 2021 would be free and fair, and recommended that the Commission approach a court of competent jurisdiction to seek a just and equitable order for the deferral of the elections to no later than February 2022. The Commission, in response, unanimously accepts the findings of the Moseneke report. In particular, the Commission notes the rationale and central thesis of the report that community immunity through mass vaccination must be considered as a desirable step in the conduct of a safe, free and fair elections in the Republic. Insofar as the recommendation pertain, the Commission will adjust implementation to accord with current legal prescripts and financial means. Where there are substantial financial implications, National Treasury will be approached. For its part, the Commission has determined immediate causes of action given the agency of the matters canvassed in the report. And these include, but are not limited to, the deferral of the registration weekend scheduled for the 31st of July and 1st of August to enable the steps necessary for the preservation of lives of the members of the electoral staff, political party agents, observers, and voters who will ordinarily be in attendance at the 23,151 registration stations across the country. And this decision is grounded on the epidemiological projections advanced in the Moseneke report, as well as the current persisting high levels of COVID-19 infections and mortality rates in the country. To fast-track measures recommended in the Moseneke report for vaccination of staff, negotiations were already at an advanced stage with the Department of Health. And to immediately consult with the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, as the authority responsible for the proclamation of the upcoming general elections of municipal councils, and as the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee on Local Government Elections. And to immediately inform represented political parties, Parliament, the Minister of Home Affairs, SALGA, and all other electoral stakeholders of its decisions. And to urgently brief Senior Council to launch an application in a court of competent jurisdiction to seek judicial authorization to conduct election outside of the constitutionally prescribed periods. And further, a consultation will also be sought with National Treasury regarding the financial implications of the recommendations embodied in the report, as well as the new dates for the voter registration will be announced in due course. In the meantime, the Commission reminds all eligible voters that the online registration facility launched recently will continue to provide a safe, convenient, and easy way to register as a voter and to update registration details. And since its launch on the 14th of July, more than 8,648 voters system to register or to change their registration details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important that we understand that until a court of competent jurisdiction has determined the application for deferral, all other planned electoral activities will proceed. And the Commission appeals for the spirit of calm, support, and working together among all the stakeholders in the interest of stability and certainty on one hand, the indispensable need for the preservation of constitutional democracy in the Republic. The Moseneke inquiry has greatly assisted in airing all the various views of political parties, civil society, the public, media, and health and medical experts on such a complex issue that was before us. The Commission once again expresses its deepest gratitude to Justice Moseneke and his team, as well as those who participated in the inquiry, for the great work which has helped guide the Commission through the very challenges of our times. As I conclude, I wish to express the Commission's gratitude to all our staff members at the Electoral Commission, as well as their families, for their unyielding resolve to serve this nation selflessly. Theirs is a labor of love for the constitutional democracy, which is the lifeblood of our republic. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. At this point in time, I'm going to questions, comments from members of the media. Please introduce yourself and let us know the media house from which you come. Please.
Good afternoon. My name is Mbali Tetani from Newsroom Africa. My question is to the chairperson. You were saying that you will be approaching a competent court. Are you able to give us clarification which competent court that will be? Is that the High Court? Is that the Constitutional Court? Because over the past couple of days, we've heard that you can approach the High Court or the Con Court. Will you be going to the Con Court? And coming to the issue around voter registration, you had initially extended the voter registration to July. Does this now mean that you will further be extending it further? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mbali. The next, Natasha.
Dr. Mashinini, hope you're well. It's Natasha Perry here from SABC News. Just dwelling on Mbali's question about the legal aspects of, approaching this relevant court. Is it the constitutional courts? Because correct me if I'm wrong, the IEC has two options, right, in this regard. Either the IEC and the Minister of COGTA approach the constitutional courts to ask for an extension, or the constitutional amendment route, which is a lengthy route. So if you just please clarify on that. Thank you. Oh, sorry, just one more question, sorry. Okay, on voter registration, the last time I was here on Tuesday, I'd asked for numbers. In terms of voter registration, online voter registration, I beg your pardon, how many people have registered? And in terms of your online system, is everything, going ahead as planned, no glitches and etc.? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Would you like to tackle those? If not, please apportion as you see fit.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Perhaps let me deal with the first question, which is about which court are we approaching. We are aware that the scenarios before us, it's either the Electoral Court or the Constitutional Court. And this is the matter that our senior counsel is seized with, and they should be advising us shortly regarding that particular issue. And now, when we extended the voter registration, there are two platforms for us. There's the physical face-to-face voter registration, which is what we are saying we are deferring. But online voter registration will continue. And so what we're saying is we are deferring based on the report that we've received about the risks associated with the physical contact. But the registration will continue because the commission is still adhering to the requirements until the competent court has indicated whether the deferral of the elections is permitted. Now, I hope that answers both your questions. And then regarding the voter registration numbers, may I invite the CEO or the DCO on the registration, the voter registration, online voter registration.
I nearly drank this, it works better when you drink it.
No.
As of this morning, we have processed 10,367 registrations, and that includes people who are re-registering as well as new applicants. Indeed, there were some glitches. People were uploading the wrong side of the smart ID card. Some of them were giving us selfies and those types of things. So we are putting on the system a guideline that people can see as to what exactly the picture of the smart ID card, the site which is relevant with the barcode at the back, as well as when you use a green barcoded ID, we need that first page of the ID. So all those things are being cleared at the moment, and the more people use it, the more lessons we have and adjustments are being made. We find that progressively higher numbers are beginning to use the system daily, and we anticipate that when we give this some additional boost by way of a communication campaign, we are likely to see a greater use and greater successes in the use of the system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There's a person that I can't see, so please go for it and introduce yourself.
UFM. The inquiry found that the elections, if they proceed in October, they won't be free. There's uncertainty in whether this order you seek will be granted. Now, are you going to run parallel processes to ensure that you try to remedy that, these elections are free and fair?
Thank you very much. I'm going to take Natasha again.
Mr. Mashinini, please allow me to push my luck. So let's just say, whichever court grants that, okay, yes, indeed, there should be this postponement of local government elections. And we've heard Justice Moseneke say that, the elections should preferably take place in February 2022. Can you perhaps give us a time frame as to when the IEC would like these elections to take place? The last weekend of February or the first weekend? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mbali.
Yes, my question is also quite similar to Natasha. I want to understand the process now. When are you expecting I know that you're saying that your councils are dealing with this matter of going to a competent court. How long is this process expected to take? When is it exactly that you think you would be able to approach a competent court? When it comes to the new dates that the former Deputy Chief Justice looked into around having those elections in February, have you discussed that? How far are you with that process in terms of you deciding when it will be a more appropriate time to have elections in the country? Because you also said that your elections process will still continue until this matter is heard, or rather dealt with in a court of law. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, I'm going to come back to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Program Director. Yes, I think the Commission does not have the authority to change anything as far as its constitutional and legal mandate prescribes. So what we're saying, in light of the report, we've caused for a report to be tabled that it would not be feasible for us to conduct the elections. So we are now making approaches. And in that process, we are still working with our council. And before we file, we would have the answers that you're seeking now. So it would not be appropriate for me to preempt what then would be the advice, because we still have to engage also the administration, where they would then indicate the feasibility of the recommendations as such. Now, some of the recommendations that we have, we're quite clear that they may be low-hanging fruits, but there are others that have got other intricate questions and considerations that we need to make. So at this stage, we are happy to indicate that this is the intent and that's the direction we're taking. But as and when we are ready to indicate then where has our consultation, in particular as the Commission with the administration as well as senior counsel and the other key critical stakeholders, we would then be in a position to answer the question that you were asking about that the actual dates and all of those things. So at this stage, one cannot make those dates also because we don't know whether the courts will actually even grant this request. So these are the issues that at the moment we would hold in abeyance until we've received the advice. Now, as to whether we're going to run things parallel, I'm not sure if I understood the question properly, but to us is that it's still one and the same process. What we're saying is there's certain aspect of what we had on the table that is not feasible, which is the face-to-face registration. But under general, we are saying it's possible for us to continue with the registration, and we will be actually indicating also what happens to all the other due processes that fall within our timelines. I don't know if there's anything that CEO, you are in a position to add.
Okay, Natia, okay. There was a hand from Gavin. Please introduce yourself and the place you come from.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's Gavin Whittles from ENCA. I'd like to find out if the participants in the multi-party liaison committee have been informed of the IEC's intention to approach the court to ask for this order, and then whether you anticipate any opposition to your application coming from the political parties who were not keen on having the elections postponed.
Thank you very much. Mbali, again, as the microphone before you use it, Mbali.
Okay, I just want to find out how possible is it for us to have local government elections before the end of the year? I know that you're saying that you still need to go and deal with the matter of going to the electoral court or the constitutional court. But in terms of what you've looked at in terms of the Moseneke report and what the health department is saying in terms of increasing the vaccination process in the country. We've heard also this morning the minister saying that they're fast tracking that process. Is it possible at all to have those elections before the end of this year? Thank you.
Okay. Chairperson, I'm going to come back to you. You will invite whatever assistance you require. Okay. Vice Chair.
Sorry, thanks for the question. In terms of the PLC, the party liaison structure, the consultation has taken place. There are various views and ideas that have come from different parties, and clearly those political parties will consult internally and make their decisions. In terms of opposition, I think it's far too early to say. It will depend on positions that are taken in court papers and positions that are taken internally by political parties after their consultations. But we have had those initial consultations. I think in terms of the possibility before the end of the year, I think that's indeed what the whole process of the inquiry was about. You know, so I think you're asking that question again, and as we've indicated, we aren't in a position to do anything other than to abide by our own constitutional obligations, and so we will indeed be pursuing that, while simultaneously in parallel, in line with the question that was asked earlier, we will also be pursuing the matters that have been raised in the report on the inquiry with council, with the administration and so on, in order to look at what could be other scenarios should the court be minded to allow for that.
Colleagues, I do not see any further hands. If any of you are there that I do not see, I hope someone is going to tell me going once, going twice, going 3 times, we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Your presence here as the media ensures that the message is heard far and wide. So thank you for coming through. Please remain safe. The very thing that has brought us here calls me to say to you, please be careful. So on that note, I wish to thank everyone who has come through. I wish to thank our virtual audience. I wish to thank the commissioners and the administration for all the work that they continue to do. Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the briefing. Have a good afternoon. Thank you. Look.